everybody, welcome to another fast recap Crimson Vow video where we go through a draft in real time, talk about the draft, and then the games play out in fast motion with me just quickly going over what happened, because a lot of people like the draft part. They like to see me pick very powerful bombs like other cards than that. This is kind of a weak pack. The uncommons aren't that exciting either. I kind of just want to take removal here with Sigarda's Imprisonment. Paladin's fine, green-white I've had some success with. Yes, it's not quite as good as anything else, but no. Every single color combo is within like 1.5% win rate, which is statistically meaningless. So don't let that color you. Blood Hypnotist I don't really like. You should be able to wheel those. And Catapult Fodder is one very specific deck. So we'll just take the Imprisonment. It's just going to... It's going to go in literally every white deck I play and could even be splashed potentially if I'm having the splash cards and needing removal. So here, again, the uncommons aren't super exciting. Felstinger's fine. The removal in the pack is not that exciting. There's another Weaver, which really kind of pulls me into making a Weaver deck. I really like green in the set. I really, really, really like green. There's a Spore Crawler as well. But I think the Felstinger's just better quality. A rare was taken out of this pack, so it doesn't really help us know anything that was going on. So here, again, the uncommons are of the lower tiers than I would prefer. No removal. I see a Guest and a Celebrant, both of which I like, but pick 3 is a little bit early for that. I'm not taking the Retrieve. I'm not taking the Wandermind. I don't think I'm taking the Soul Cipher board. The black is not great. The white is not great. We might be starting down the makings of our first pack sucks. Let's go aggro. So I don't hate taking a Blood Petal Celebrant here. That's a weak pack. Okay, now we start to get a couple of signals. Inspired Idea is good. Screaming Swarm is also good. So that's suggesting to me that blue could be open. Green has basically disappeared. The black is bad. The red is fine and bad. The white is bad. So I'm inclined to pick up the Screaming Swarm, if I'm being honest here. Let's pick up a Screaming Swarm. If we can get into like blue-green go wide, Screaming Swarm just wins. That's a super late Restless Bloodseeker, suggesting red-black is something to take a look at. The blue here is just not worth taking. The white is not good either. But Restless Bloodseeker, if we end up in black-red blood, is very good. Here, the black is bad. The blue is not great. The white is not great. The red is bad. Like, I'm honestly starting to wonder about the blue-green mill deck here. Let's take a look at where we're going to go. We get a Stitched Assistant and a Desperate Farmer. Both, I think, at pick 7 are a little bit signally. I do expect blue to be a bit more open, so I'm going to take the Assistant here. No, I'm having a hard time reading this one. Grizzly Ritual pick 8 is slightly late for it. Epicure pick 8 is a little bit late. There are cards that we want for the mill deck. Let's try to get it in the mill deck. I feel like these signals might be a little bit off, as opposed to being legitimate signals. Maybe they were legitimate signals. Interesting. Well, let's take an Epicure. I still think I'm apt to head towards the blue-green deck. No, let's take a Arch Ghoul here. My black is decent. And then we get Belligerent Geist all the way around. Soul Cipher board works for the mill deck. Oh, I wish I could read these signals. I feel like our power is better if we get into the blue-green deck with what we have. Our black-red deck is just like, none of it's exciting here. We'll take an anger, I suppose. Okay, Chill the Grave. And the Festivities. All right, reward me? No. Absolutely punish me. I think we're just on a foreboding statue here. We can get Throng back around, I guess, maybe. We got a guest and a celebrant here if we want to stick on the black-red thing. I'm not sold on black-red because we have a celebrant and an epicure and a bloodseeker. And a card that we don't really want in the deck and a card that is okay in the deck. I'm going to take the statue, see if we can get just a little bit more explanation of what's going on. Well, we get no black or red that I would ever want, so that's good. We get a Diver Scab and a Wolfkin Outcast, a Stitched Assistant that could wheel. Let's pick ourselves up a Diver Scab, see where we go. We want spiders, we want millipedes, we want that kind of stuff. Basically, we want to go wide and we want to attack with Screaming Swarm and just mill them out. I've seen it done. It works. It's a very good thing. And not many people do it. We're going to be looking for mulches. We're going to look for a past late frog rare. And see how we do. I think the big thing that's making me just not interested in sticking in black-red is we got and saw virtually no black or red removal. We saw a Grizzly Ritual, which tells me that black-red is not actually open. So there's the mulch that I want, but we should be able to pick those up quite late. There's the Bleed Dry that I just said we weren't seeing, but here's an Eruth, who we can splash easily, and she is incredibly good. So easy pickup. Okay, Restless Bloodseeker, sure. Prove me wrong, prove me wrong. I see a Lantern Bearer and a Spore Crawler. They're both good, but this mills really well. So we'll pick up the first Lantern Bearer over the first Crawler. And let's get rid of this black-red crud. We get a Cruel Witness versus a Scorpion versus a Sideboard Canopy. Easy Cruel Witness, I would say. Oops, you're a 4-drop, not a 5. There we go. I see a Catgeist, which is not great, but I don't hate it. There's a Thirst for Discovery and a Repository Scab. These are all sort of okay. But again, Catgeist mills well, so we'll take it. Evolving Wilds to help us splash for Eruth seems fine. The green has unfortunately wildly disappeared. I don't know where it went, but something's telling me that this person is green, and maybe this person is also green. So we're going to get our green in pack 3. And black only briefly felt open. It doesn't feel open anymore. I think we got like 3 picks where I would have been like, oh, glad I'm in black. And then that all would have went away. Oh, there's another millipede that I want. You can just win with these things being gigantic too. Jam a Lantern Bearer on them. I don't think we're going to play 2 Binding Geists, but we'll see. Haven't seen any spiders. But remember, uncommons aren't that common. Aren't that common. You can expect in the old days, back when sets were like 254, you could expect 0.9 copies per draft. And now sets just keep getting bigger, bigger. They get rarer and rarer. Ugh. All right, incredibly punished, I suppose. Any way we can justify splashing an Edgar? That would make our deck 5 colors. We have a Foreboding Statue and an Evolving Wilds. What if we were blue-black? What if we just ditched this green plan because we honestly didn't get much that I desperately wanted for it? Yeah, let's do that. And maybe we can splash Aerith as well. We'll see. We get a Gutter Skulker, which will probably work well over an Evolving Wilds. Yeah, the green's not flowing here either, so I think we made a decent choice there. We'll take a Thirst. I mean, the black isn't flowing really either. Nothing's flowing. Nothing's flowing. It's all clogged up. It's all awful. Everything is bad. Let's take the Siphon Essence. Grizzly Ritual, I guess. Definitely a weird draft. Definitely a weird one. Very, very weird one. Super weird one. These should be interesting games. I still don't really know what was open. What's my zombie count? 7? Ooh, that's pretty good. These Archghouls might be decent. Let's keep that zombie count going. Let's get rid of this binding Geist. I don't really care for it. Repository Scab. Are you bringing anything back? Not terribly. Ooh, a Skull Scab. Hello. Hey, look, our deck built itself. Are we making blood tokens? I don't think so. We're making 1, 2. Get out of here, Restless Bloodseeker. We'll have to think about whether or not we're playing Aerith. We'll have to think about that. We'll take a Skywarp Scab. Don't think we're going to play it. We'll take another Socialite. Don't think we're going to play it. Another Scab. Don't think we're going to play it. And a Pyre Spawn. Okay. Well, that was an exciting draft. It went in many directions. I'm not unhappy with what happened. I would really like to play Edgar and Aerith, but I don't know that we can. I feel like we would do like 1 mountain, 1 plains, and kind of hope on this Foreboding Statue a lot. And we would do like 8-5-1-1 wilds. I think we'll have some fun with it. I don't know if it'll work. We're at 19 creatures, super creature heavy deck. We've got stuff we're happy exploiting. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right, we're going to go into the fast motion games, so I will see you for that in a second. I, of course, right now have to play them and record them, but then I'll do the voiceovers, and let's see if we can do anything with this deck. So game 1, spoiler, was not much of a game, although I did very excitingly start with all 4 colors in my hand, which I thought would have been good. Unfortunately, my opponent immediately slammed a Blood Petal Celebrant on 2 into the Suitor on turn 3, killed my dudes, and then attacked in unimpeded for a ludicrous amount of damage on turn 4, and then things kind of went off the rails there. I had no board. I was playing 1 creature a turn, which they were immediately answering, and playing more creatures in addition to answering. Nothing I could do to stop this onslaught, and they absolutely brutalized me between curving out and removal. Never really participated in this game, unfortunately. Game 2 played out a little bit differently. I did have to mulligan and kept a little bit of an unfortunate hand with only 2 lands, but was able to kind of draw the cards that I needed, and my opponent didn't quite curve out exactly. They had their Howlpack Piper, which was shocking, but I was able to get Edgar down and just sort of stabilize. My opponent actually made a giant mistake attempting to play a creature off of Howlpack Piper. Did you know that it says up to 1? They accidentally chose to put 0 creatures into play. I was able to just continue playing things. I got my my scab zombie that makes zombies. I was able to have a huge turn just there where I put it down a bunch of things, and my opponent could not handle the unblockability and the board that I had, and I was able to just kind of take them down. If they didn't curve out, it seems that our deck is pretty good. It's got some power. So let's see about Game 3. Game 3. Game 3 was 2 minutes long from checking this video. Unfortunately, my opponent with the 1-drop into the 2-drop into the 1-drop, me keeping definitely a slow hand, but I figured I had a bunch of 2-drops and 3-drops I could draw, and I did draw 1, but it just wasn't enough. They just kept playing creatures non-stop, and I wasn't able to do anything. A single Abrade finished me off very quick in 2 minutes. So on to match 2, game 1. We're up against Metal Mario. Xander, very good drafter, plays in the Sweatsuit Invitational. I lead off with a Bearer, which he immediately answers with a 2/2 Flying Bat, so I can't really do much, but I jump on in with my Unblockable, and unfortunately more flyers on Xander's side, and a lifelinky one. I know the lifelink is going to get me, so I do deal with it with my Grizzly Ritual. Edgar's just kind of rotting in hand a little bit. One of the only times that he does that. We were actually very lucky with mana throughout this entire draft. Unfortunately, Xander is able to sort of stabilize a little bit. We're both at very low life totals. Me with the unblockable person, but he just gets to keep hanging away at me with further life drain from the scavengers, and I'm not quite able to figure out a way to kill him quickly enough, especially with a wedding invitation. And Xander does take the first game here. On to match 2, game 2. Things look pretty good. I start out with my Wretched Throng and follow up by sacking it to the Fel Spectre to draw 3 cards, because of course we drew the second Throng off of it. Deck is kind of firing on all cylinders. I get my my Exploit Scab down pretty quickly, start making extra zombies. Metal Mario surprises me with a Voldarin flyer that is standing on a balcony, which is pretty scary, but I am able to just keep establishing the board. Both of my rares in my hand at the moment. I do eventually get the Aerith out, which I believe Metal Mario immediately answers, which just sort of let me continue establishing my board, spreading wide with those zombies, and he wasn't quite able to keep up with it this time, especially with a last turn bounce. So into the final game for match 2. We lose this one, and the draft is over for us. I immediately drop my Bearer, which stops his Voldarin balcony stander person. But boy, Xander goes flyer, 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 and my deck is weak to flyers. I don't have many. I don't have much removal or interaction of too much. He gets the scavengers down. I'm able to kind of finagle some stuff to get some more flyers by flipping my Ouija board, but he's able to just answer things and just deal with things. I'm not able to find a way to deal with multiple flyers, and Xander just kind of takes over this game with 4 power in the air, kind of on command. I'm able to get Aerith out again, but not quite get there. So unfortunately, the deck did not work out. We failed utterly at 0-2, which is kind of an interesting thing, if I do say so myself. I was actually looking at my stats, and I discovered that I have exactly the same trophy rate in Crimson Vow that I do in Midnight Hunt, despite having a 6% lower win rate in Crimson Vow. I am losing way more. I am 3-0ing exactly as often, which tells to me exactly what I've known all along, which is that this format is bomby, and you 3-0 or you 0-2. It is very, very, very high variance, and very high variance stuff is something that a lot of people tend to like. To maybe not pull some punches because they'll win more than they would otherwise. But for those who are good players, you lose more when it's high variance, and you don't really feel in control, unfortunately. So I'm super happy if Crimson Vow just goes away tomorrow. I know we've got several more weeks left of it. So we'll keep plugging away with these videos, keep trophying at exactly the same rate as one of my higher win rates ever in Midnight Hunt. despite losing a whole bunch, which hey, I guess that all comes out in a wash gem-wise. But hopefully you're still enjoying these videos. Let me know in the comments down below. Thumbs up, all those good things. Remember to check out Patreon, inkedgaming.com/themanaleak, altersleeves.com/themanaleak, of course. And I will see you all next time.